Visionary Mind, SmokeSumPodcast. You already know what it is. We out here in Endo Cannabis in Adrian, Michigan. We about to go ahead and look at the grow. Come on, let's just tap in. Come see the grow.
Hey, welcome everybody. I'm Jason Adrian. I'm Director of Cultivation here at Endo. Welcome to our grows.
I'm Jim Hunt. I'm in sales. I'm Austin, Sales Manager for Endo Back.
Come on, guys, let's go take a look. So there's actually, purchased 23. So right now, we actually have 2 more rooms we can expand into.
Okay.
This room's operating, this room's operating, and that room's operating. So there's 3 rooms operational. There's 2 more rooms we still have.
What got you into cultivation?
I mean, just love for the plant. I've just been a consumer ever since the age of 16. Always loved marijuana, and was a caregiver well past. Me and my brother started cultivating the plant, and it just grew on me. So always just had love for the plant. It's a 2-tiered system. There's a total of 140 lights in here. So we do 12 plants per light. So in this room, there's 1,680 plants.
Wow.
Yep. So this round, we got 4 cultivars in here. We have our Stay Puffed, which is a compound frost. It's great gasoline, I believe, and marshmallow OG. Yeah, so real gassy strain, super fire.
All of them are your babies, but which one is closer to your heart?
Probably this one. I mean, this whole room's pretty much new genetics. This is only our 2nd run with all of them. We got our Red Rocket over there, which is also super gassy. That's Jet Fuel Gelato. Jet Fuel Gelato cross. I'd have to look it up and see what
How do you choose, what crosses do you want to do and which direction you want to take?
So what we do is, usually on every run, we'll take a light or 2 and pop like 12 to 24 seeds. And we're constantly hunting here. That's one of our main things, is trying to find and source new genetics. So most of the cuts we find are in-house cuts, by starting seed. So we got a lot of candy flavors. We're hunting for more gas right now, just trying to stay, relevant to the market.
So for the people I always ask my growers for that process, what does pheno hunting look like? What is the process? And how is it unique to Endo?
So, obviously you gotta, source good seeds for one, right? So that's the first step. And then, like I said, throughout every room we'll take a small portion, usually just like one bay. We'll hunt, 24, 48 seeds, usually like 2 to 4 crosses. And then, obviously we'll take data. We'll see how the plant grows, obviously structure, smell, bud structure, then obviously after harvest, we have the true test. How does it smoke, right? How does it test? I always tell my guys nowadays it's a little tougher because you got to take the THC and the testing into consideration. Although as a connoisseur, I'm a flavor guy, right? Nose, taste, but the way the market is nowadays, you have to take THC into consideration. So it makes it that much harder now. If you're, a lot of strains can be got still that we haven't put heavy in production just because they'll test 20, 23%. You know what I mean? Great flavor, right? So I think as the market matures more and the consumer gets more educated, THC won't be as big of a factor.
Right, because it really doesn't matter.
Right, exactly.
It's like a good guess, but at the same time, it's more about the terpene profile.
100%. The entourage effect on the plant. THC is just one part of it. A lot of people don't understand that. So really our focus right now is, really hunting strains that have a big nose, and that nose also translates to the smoke. You know what I'm saying? So flavor first over here, basically.
What type of light system do you guys use for?
These are Fluence 630 LEDs.
Okay.
When we purchased this facility, these are actually already currently here. So it's a good LED light though. So these are currently what we're using over here. But yeah, 140 lights in this room, 2-tier.
So can you explain a little bit more about this stage of the process and
how important is this stage to you, and then what do other facilities that you have come across get wrong about this process?
So this is the vegetative stage, right? These got put in here. These are 8 days old.
Okay.
Yeah. So these have been here just over a week. This part is very underestimated in cultivation. I believe this is where you're building the foundation of your plant.
Right.
You know, you're building strong root zones, strong stems, strong, you know, creating the branching to the plant, you know, which can translate into better yields, better quality later. So,
Gotcha.
you know, we veg between 14 to 21 days. So these will probably go another 10 to 12 days of veg.
Nice.
And then we'll flip them into flower.
Do you think the timing cycle that you use for this facility is unique in like cultivation structure, or do you see similar patterns or something
I see
different?
similar patterns, you know, in commercial cannabis, you know, you try to flip the rooms over as quick as possible. So, you know, the quicker you can get these plants to size and flower amount, you know, the more profitable the facility can be, obviously. But we've actually, you know, increased our veg time by like 3 to 7 days lately, because when we first came in this facility, our racks were each level was about this tall, and we were having problems with proper airflow.
Right.
We didn't have enough canopy depth to produce the yields we wanted to produce. So since we raised these racks, we've added a little bit of veg time to try to grow a little bit bigger plants and increase yield production.
How much of a time frame did it take you to kind of pinpoint that in your process and your selection? Because a lot of times, a lot of different growers, they'd be like, well, my process is my process. Like, I just keep doing what I'm doing. Like, what about it made you like pinpoint that and then want to
Just when we came in here, it caught my eye when we bought this facility.
Okay.
So like, you know, if I would have built it, I would have built the racks a little more height, right?
Gotcha.
So we got in here, we worked with what they had right away. Then as we got going, got ramped up, got a few crops, we extended the racks up. You know what I mean? And we've seen an increase in production since, for sure.
Gotcha.
So, and it just allows, you know, with a 2-tier system, airflow is very important, right? I mean, you're trying to control a lot of lights in a room. You're trying to control 2 levels in a room, you know, so, you know, it's hard to push enough air above the canopy if your plants are filling up the whole top.
Right, it was too tall,
You
yeah.
have no height to blow air across the top of the canopy. So that was my first thing, is I knew how important in a 2-tier system airflow was going to be, and we just didn't have the height to push air hard enough through that bottom tier. So,
Gotcha.
plus it gives us more canopy depth. And there was certain cultivars I wouldn't even grow in this facility because they were big stretchers, tall plants.
Right.
So it kind of limited me. I was trying to grow more shorter, squattier plants here.
Gotcha.
But yeah, I mean, everything looks pretty good. Health is good in here.
And what were some of the strands that you said that were?
Yep, so we got our Stay Puft right here. These first 5 tables on the bottom are Stay Puft.
Okay.
We walk through here. So this is all Stay Puft. This side and the bottom. Right here is our Red Rocket, which is jet fuel gelato. I'll probably have to look. It's a jet fuel gelato crossed by a compound. This one's super fire. This one actually tested really high the first round too. It's like 35% THC.
Damn.
Yeah. And then this is a unique strain up top, Banana Taffy. It's a cut I got from a guy from Maine. Shout out Mainly Organics, who gave me the cut.
Yeah, absolutely.
Great guy. We've only had 1 round of this in R&D, small batch. Tested really high, good terps, good notes.
Okay.
That tested actually 34, 35% as well. So we do got some really high testing.
What type of profiles does these typically?
This is all gas.
Okay.
This bottom, pretty much all gas for the most part. I mean, that Stay Puft, you say got some candy in it? What do you think?
Yeah,
Candy
it's got
gas?
that great gasoline cross to it.
Yeah, marshmallow.
Marshmallow OG, so it definitely shines a little with the candy, but it has that solid OG touch.
Gotcha.
This has got, that Banana Taffy is basically like the name, it's like a banana taffy.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
There's a lot of flavors that you see with the banana genetics out here that don't really shine through on the banana, to where people aren't really inclined to gravitate towards them.
Right.
This banana taffy really, like, if you could just picture like the Runts banana itself, it's got very strong banana notes that if you hadn't been a believer before, check out our banana taffy. She's really incredible. We got to.
What's the cross for that?
The banana taffy.
It's banana runs. try and look through my list. We got so many damn strains, it's hard to keep track of everything. But Advocate banana runs times lunch money. So I'm not sure what's in lunch money. I have to look that up or ask my guy for Maine, but it's super fire.
She shines. As far as a banana flavor profile, that's going to be one that sticks with us.
Yeah, 100%. And over there, we've got that Shangri-La Runts. That's the Runts of Eden times White Truffle.
This one right here?
Yep.
That's been a part of our most recent flavor drop. You can find it in King of Bud stores and all of our Endo stores between Adrian, Ypsilanti, and Hope Lake.
We actually got that one flowered in another room, so check it out.
For sure.
Shangri-La.
It look
got
Red Rocket too, right?
Red Rocket. That Shangri-La, it's got like a winey kind of mimosa, there's a little bit of the candy notes.
It's different. You know, it's definitely different. I expected with the name, you know, it to be straight candy, but it was, it's different.
Yeah.
I can't always put them into words. He's good at putting everything into words.
No, he great. No, this is one of the goats right here.
Right, exactly.
This is one of the goats right
Here
here.
with like the mimosas and the rosés, you'll really, really like our Shangri-La.
He one of the few people that I actually met. Like, you know how people say they cannabis connoisseurs, and then they just tell you. Like, I could tell. We had like a quick 15-minute, 20-minute conversation off camera. Then had like a 20-minute conversation on camera, and I was just like, yeah, bro, a connoisseur. Like, he know exactly what he's talking about. And he a good
We're all
guy.
about the flavors here. You know, although we're known for our numbers and being the current state record holder for THC with our program that hit 41%, you know, we really have like just a great balance of really just the flavor as the focus, you know. Although numbers are important, like we're not growing for numbers. It's something where we know it's important and it tailors to this whole community, but we're trying to open people up and educate people that it's beyond just the THC. THC is nothing more than an expression of the plant. How we got our name is from the Endocannabinoid System that is within us, and it is the key that unlocks your high. So then when you smell a certain flavor profile and it like speaks to your endocannabinoid system, your body's going to be reactive and responsive to that from your sensors. Either you feel it on your skin, you get those chills, little tickle behind the neck. That is letting you know that those are flavor profiles that work for your endocannabinoid system. So although a number may be important, make your selection based off of that flavor profile.
You know, you see what I'm talking about?
That's why we got it.
Yeah. Man. This is fire though. I like the setup.
Yeah, it was a challenge coming in here with these big rooms. We're getting her dialed in now.
Do y'all have like a certain? I see it like. Do y'all have like a certain unique power source for like the lights and like a power source for the lights like?
So we control everything off the control master in this room. Yeah, so we can control pretty much the whole climate system.
Is it like automated?
So it links to your phone. So same thing with our irrigation. I can control everything from my phone off my hand. You know, we run fertigation through a dosatron. I can show you that here in a little bit.
For sure.
This room right here probably feeds about 14 times a day. Small amounts, small shots on every hour.
Yeah.
Go check out the other room.
Oh damn.
So here's that Shangri-La. That's all we got. You see the white truffle in it. For sure.
Yeah, for sure.
This is Runs of Eden times white truffle. Yeah. This room is, I think it's on day 53.
Okay.
Yeah. So this will get harvested at the end of next week.
So like, what is the time and cycle for this room?
So this is, like I said, I think this is day 53 or 54 of flower. This room will come down day 63, 9 weeks.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's got some tall bushy plants.
Yeah. Like before, like our height was about like right in here. So we would have never been able to grow anything even close to this tall.
Yeah.
So it just, you know.
What is the terp profile for this one?
Well, what do you say this one is? You explained it as like
the Shangri-La.
The
Shangri-La. I get more of those like winey, mimosa, rosé notes to it. It's got hints of the candy, but it more so shines on that palate, you know. And
You think it's similar to the white truffle as far as the nose, or no?
it is
So
a
that's
little
a
similar
cross-out.
to that white truffle. I want to say it leans probably more towards the white truffle lineage,
Right.
but it brings more of like just that wine note than really candy flavor profile.
Yeah.
Check it out.
She's frosty as
You
can
gotta
be.
eat.
Shangri-La.
Fire.
It's funny, this one's kind of like hard to say at times. Some people are like, Shangri-La. Shangri-La.
I butchered.
How
I
do you
butchered
say- how
the
do you
heck
say
out
it,
of
Big Jim?
Shangri-La. You
Okay.
have to
He's gotten
slow
better.
yourself down. Shangri-La.
Two-tier system. This one behind you is called New Money. You want to touch any buds? Yeah.
Not sure about this one. We just harvested it. I don't love the bud structure on it, to be honest with you, but we'll see. We'll see how it's smoke.
Thank you.
It tested really high in R&D and smoked good, but
New Money.
new money, baby.
What's the cross on this one?
New money. That's a compound cross.
Okay.
Put my list out real quick. New money is black amber times eye candy.
I love Black Amber. That's a strand that that's a newer strand for me.
That's a good guy. I like that. Rose.
Super strong.
Mimosa kind of rosé. That's what I get from Mimosa.
I knew it was different. It wasn't just like a straight candy for being a rose.
Yeah, this one you
It's
did.
got the sweetness. It just leans more on a wine sweetness. I just get like straight wine.
Yeah. It give a little fruit flavor too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Little fruity wine.
Well, this is our second run of this strain.
Grapes and cranberries.
How was the smoke to it from your perspective?
It's a smooth smoke. Definitely gives you that resin production as soon as it's lit. We've got these straight joints that are rolled by the Roll Pro machine, so they're never stuffed, always rolled.
Okay.
And they really resemble a hand roll. You would think that it was a hand roll. They got a nice wood tip to it.
Okay.
But the burn production is phenomenal. We put full flower in there, so that way they have the best and greatest first impression. We want somebody to smoke our straight joints and then lead to them buying it back.
So is this mostly a flower facility, or do you guys do rosin and other products as well?
So mainly just flour right now.
Okay.
We outsource some cured resin.
Okay.
We do want to, once we get this facility to scale, we'll do some fresh rosin runs, start producing some rosin for sure. So,
And then we'll
actually,
have the,
this strand right here is supposed to be a big rosin producer. I haven't got a chance to wash it yet, but from what I hear, it's produced a lot of rosin.
And
you
this
can
is
usually tell by like the graininess of the trichomes.
Yeah.
You know, if it's greasy, it's usually not going to be one of the better washers. But if you got like those trichomes that are almost kind of like salt-like graininess that you feel like grinding between your fingertips,
Yeah.
that's when you know like that's going to literally just shake off. You can even do like a water test with a mason jar and some ice.
Yeah, ice water test.
so all of
Yeah,
this.
they claim this wash is 6%.
Yeah. So is these different strands down here?
So these two rows are all single roller runs. These two rows right here, move over here. This is 2 rows of new money. So there's actually 6 strands in this room, 4 on the bottom and 2 on the top. So these 2 are new money. This is our soy sauce. This is actually the second run of this too.
What are the crosses for this one?
Across from this is what? Soy sauce is it's actually zucchini and lemon cherry gelato.
Okay. Nah, I love both. I love both of those strands. So this one must smoke crazy.
So this is we're actually trimming this right now in the trim room. So
Okay.
that was our first run of it. So it hasn't even hit the market yet. Yeah, it just came out of R&D. So we hunted this in house.
What was the difference growing this versus the other one? But I know you still within that same process. You said it's the first run of it. So
Yeah, it's the first run. So, usually we'll start it off lighter in production, see what feedback we get from the consumer. Just because I liked it in R&D don't mean the masses are going to like it, right? So we'll do a couple lighter production runs and then get some feedback from the strain and then put it heavy in production.
Got you.
And the next 2 rows over, that's our black cherry gelato, actually.
Okay.
That's the one I just took second place in the half minute. Yeah, she's been a staple since we started for the most part.
So this was just one of the winners of Hazardous Cup.
Exactly.
Would you consider this a signature strand for?
I know, yeah. For
Yeah.
sure. We've had this since the first. Yeah, actually, I think we brought this in our facility originally when we started. That white cherry gelato.
So what's the crosses? What
Black cherry funk times. It's hard for me to pronounce. It's like, yeah, there you go. There you go. Yeah. So, real candy, real good flavor, man. It's just tests really high terps.
Yeah.
Great color. I mean, pretty much checks all the boxes.
It's got hints of garlic notes to it. Like,
So like
definitely sneaky.
makes this one super unique in the market. A lot of people try different gelatos, but they don't necessarily always hit right. But even when I've come across this strand, like from you guys, like this is fire. Like this is like
I would
superb.
say flavor profile.
Yeah.
You know, nose, flavor profile. Then, you know, people that do pay attention to THC,
Yeah.
you know, it does test high as well. So I think it just checks all the boxes that, you know, a mass amount of consumers.
The bag appeal on it has some purple hues to it. The nut structure is always very clean, phenomenal. It's not producing really a lot of smalls. It's everything is very impressionable. It's got size to it. It's got weight to it. It's been one of our most consistent. Even before I joined Endo, this is one of the first flavors that I got to try from the guys, and I've always been a fan. It's been one of those that I told myself I could smoke every single day. And if we were to, you know, enter in anything in one of these categories to win a competition,
this
said
a
the
winner.
black cherry gelato.
Now this is fire.
Yeah, I got to put it in every run. Really, there's high demand for it.
Yeah.
You know, as many strains as we found, I mean, this is still probably the go-to, to be honest.
Yeah.
I mean, we got a lot of new flavors in the pipeline that possibly could be this good or better, but this is staple in the garden. I would say.
This has got all the data driven to it, the reviews, the comments. It's one of those that if somebody will order an extra case of, add it to their order because it's going to sell through just as good as, you know, the other ones that they might have less of. You get more of this one, it's going to probably sell through still. People are always gravitating towards this, coming back for it. It's one of our staples.
She don't come out of rotation. She stays in rotation.
Yeah.
And up top we got our jealous runs. That's actually Runstein Jealousy.
Okay.
I'm so excited for that.
I can do a ladder. You guys want to get up and check out the top?
Yeah, we can do that.
I mean, just, you know, if you want to take a peek. That's the only downfall is we raise these racks. Like, it's a little more pain in the ass to get to the top. So when we work in here, there's like struts or platforms.
So you can.
I'm sure
Has this one hit the market yet?
that was a small R&D run, small batch run. We just got a heavy introduction just now.
What was the feedback on this strand?
Fire. Everybody liked it. A lot of gas.
So it would be safe to say, like, right, like y'all are more of a indica-based flower.
Yeah, we're gonna try to get a couple sativas for rotation. You know, I know there's definitely a market for sativas, but you know, we don't have a lot currently. So we got a couple in the pipeline that we're hunting right now. Super London Days Cross and sativas.
What's this one?
That's the jealous runs. That's the right kind of jealous.
Small batch for that one as well?
This is the first big batch of them, you know? So both of these were hunted probably. I mean, it's probably been about a year now, to be honest with you. It's a long process to get them in. But yeah, that's very super fire too.
For sure.
That's actually from Aficionado. I don't know if you know Leo over there from Aficionado.
It sounds familiar.
He gifted us some seeds. We popped them and hunted them. And that was the people we found out of.
So like far as like seed banks, like do y'all have a main one that you go to, or is it like a variety?
We popped a lot of lit seeds, compound, some seed junkie.
Okay.
Aficionado. I mean, I would say that we're probably like the main 4 or so that we popped.
Okay.
But yeah, I mean, we're always on the hunt. You know, I feel like to be relevant in this market, you always need to be finding new flavors and, you know, keep things exciting. So, want to get up there, Jim?
The weight limit. Sorry. Darn.
What kind of system is this right here for the?
This is dehumidifier.
Okay.
Big 710. There's actually 9 of them in here. So we got 2 on the corner, 2 on every, or 1 on every corner, and 5 over there.
Why that brand?
What's that?
Why that brand of
You know, it's pretty much them and Quest are the 2 major brands in the industry. I just tried Anden, originally. Very good customer service, a reliable product, fair price. So we kind of just stuck with them.
Okay.
I mean, if anything breaks and we can't fix it right away, they'll send me a brand new one.
Yeah, that's fire.
Mainly just great customer service. I mean, what I've noticed with a lot of these grow rooms is this equipment's ran so hard, so long, so often that things are going to break.
Yeah.
So I really look at, good relationships with the vendors, good customer service.
Absolutely.
So yeah, they've always been really great though, so I've been stuck with them.
I heard you say something. So you guys are vertically integrated?
Yep.
Have you guys been vertically integrated the entire time, or?
Yeah, since day one. I mean, we started our grow facility late 2021. I think we put plants in there in October.
Mm-hmm.
And then we opened our store, which is right down the street here in Adrian, in March of 2022. Mm-hmm. So the store came on just after the grow facility did.
Okay.
About 6 months.
How does it feel to be that unique in a process where you know where it's going, you know this the top priority versus sometimes you may take it to other places. Right. You might be able to get like the brand recognition. Everything is deli now, so it may be like, hey, this is by they're just focusing more on the strain than they are the like who cultivated it versus the difference.
Yeah, I think it gives us an advantage in the market, and having the brand store at Endo plus the flower. We thought maybe it may be a disadvantage because some stores will look at us as a competitor, but for the most part, it hasn't. And also just to have that stability in the supply chain. Be able to reach the customer directly. You know what I mean? And I think it's worked out in our favor definitely.
Absolutely. So. Where are those certain places where outside of the Endo stores that people can get flower and purchase?
So King of Buds.
Okay.
Jars. We're about to get back in quality roots. I mean, these guys know some of the mom and pop stores.
James Canna, Emerald Fire's been one of our good customers as well.
Green Medicine Shop, California, Michigan cannabis company, big one of ours.
Wayne Relief, got a product.
Wayne Relief.
Relief's in the mix. Yep.
Okay, so that's not too far from me. Yeah, Wayne Relief.
This is actually our mom room, so this is where we take all our cuttings.
Okay. Oh, wow.
This is basically what house has always been at.
Yeah. So talk about this process. Like, why is this important?
So this is really what I consider like the heartbeat of the facility, right? So this room is going to feed all the production rooms. This room is where we, store and keep all of our genetics, which I think is a huge part of cultivation success nowadays, especially in this competitive of a market. So this process in here. We'll plant moms specifically for each room, and they'll veg for like 40 to 45 days. From what we've found, growing a little moms a little bit, not growing them as big and as long, you run into less health issues.
Yeah.
You keep a healthier plant.
Okay.
And this room's health is, arguably the most important.
Yeah, it's very vital,
right? Because the cuts you take out of here is the cuts you're going to have in your production room right away. So if my plants are unhealthy in here, it's going to filter on through the production room, which is going to equal less production to the facility, slower growth, all these things.
How many cuts do you usually do?
So in these rooms, the last room we were in, when we planted 1,728 plants.
Okay.
So we'll usually take like 2,200 cuts. to give us extra cuts, pick and choose the most healthy ones we want to plant. So, and that other room's pretty close. I think it's got 140 lights. The first room got 144, so that room we plant 1,680 plants. Usually around 2,000 plants.
And then what did you say, like, far as a timing schedule? Like, what was the schedule for this particular room?
Yeah, so this particular room, from the time we plant, from the time we cut, is usually like 40 to 45 days. Yep, and then we'll just cycle the plants right out. So we'll specifically grow mothers for these big rooms.
Right.
You know what I mean? So these rooms are kind of far, they're spread kind of far apart, so it's kind of hard to cut from them several times per year. So we'll just recycle them out after the cut and start fresh moms. Just keep a steady flow.
Absolutely. So I got a question. As a grower, right, I always hear from different growers, like, certain strands don't grow correctly in commercial grows. Is that true, or is that a myth, or does it depend on the strand?
I would say, whether it's a commercial grow or it's a small caregiver grow, that, certain plants just want certain things.
Right.
So, you could probably blame it on that at this scale, but really you just need to find out what that plant really wants.
Right.
I would say on a commercial scale, if you're trying to grow a lot of strands in a room, that you can run into that problem because, certain strands like certain environments, certain feeds, they feed more, feed less. So it can be a struggle on this scale, but, the less plants you put in a room, different strands, the easier it is to grow, right? So you got to find that balance between having the variety and having the production, right? So we've tapered down. We used to grow about 8 strands per room here. We're trying to narrow it down to about 4 now.
Okay.
For them reasons. And then, as a grower, I look for plants that, grow similar, like similar amounts of water and nutrients. I try to group them together in the same rooms.
And it also seems like, correct me if I'm wrong, but just to keep everything small batch, just to, like, quality over quantity, more so just trying to keep, like, just push.
Yeah, so like, I know a lot of facilities that'll cut down at, a certain day every time, no matter what. We're only scoping the plant, so we always, know exactly when to take them. So if the plant needs to go 70 days, I'll let it go 70 days.
Absolutely.
I'm not just cutting at 8 weeks no matter what.
Right.
We take pride in our quality, and I feel like in this industry, quality is going to prevail eventually. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
It's a saturated market, but I think you really got to stay focused on quality.
What are some strands that I guess you don't have in the facility right now that you would like to eventually maybe think about or bring into?
So we're going to bring in some more candy.
Okay.
We got a few. We had a lot at one time. We kind of pulled back. So I actually got a friend of mine that's going to give me, several run cuts. So we're going to bring in some more runs again. We've been hunting a lot of gas, because I felt like that's one thing we were lacking for a while. Now we're accumulating some gas. A few more candy strands. Our Life's Hack is super candy.
Yeah.
Our Black Cherry Gelato, our Animal Runs. We just found Any Day. It's called Any Day. It's eye candy times green gasoline. Super candy. So we're going to release that probably in about 6 months. Just trying to anticipate the next wave, man. It's been candy for a long time. I assume that it would be filtered into something else.
Right.
That's why I was trying to find more gas. People just love that candy.
What is
I love candy.
What are some of your personal favorite strands?
I would say, Black Cherry Gelato has always been a go-to for me. Our gelato cake as well. That's kind of, I feel like it leans a little more on the cake side than it does the gelato, but super fire, real like cakey.
Yeah.
I like that Stay Puft. There's a lot of them that I like. Death by Boop is different. Like if you like a nasty, funky, kind of smoke. That's it.
Which one is that?
It's that plant over there. We don't got it in the flower room right now. It's that shorter plant. Right here. Nice plant, stays a little stock, short.
Yeah.
This is Super Boot times Death Star.
And what's the name?
What's that?
What's the name of the strand?
Death by Boot. Real funky, just real nasty funk. Kind of like you pulled out of the dumpster. But I picked it because it leaned more towards the Death Star. You know what I mean? We ran the Super Boot for a long time, and that's just been so prevalent in Michigan that just kind of got played out. So this is kind of a unique plant as well. Here's your Life Hat. That's super candy right here. Yeah. If you like candy, you love it. I don't got none right now. We got it over at our other facility in rotation.
I'm starting to like the candies a little bit more. I tend to lean more towards like gas or indigas, just because I like the strong smoke. But I like I'm starting to like certain candies, because certain candies it'd be a little bit too sweet. Like, and I'm more so looking for more sort of pressure. Like you smoke it, you like, okay, like it's fire. Like they be good strands, but it just seems like some of them are just a little bit more too sweet sometimes.
Seems like they don't hit you quite as hard either. Some of that.
Yeah.
So
this is fire.
Going to be special too. I actually roll over to the other facility. I got one plant in R&D. This is bodacious berries.
Okay.
This is probably one of the best smelling plants I've ever seen. This, I mean, if you like berries, like it's just straight berries. Like wow. So.
How did you come across this one?
This is a cut my guy from Maine gave me.
Okay.
From Mainly Organics. We've actually are doing a collab on a seed run right now, so we're breeding some of our own genetics. I sent them our gelato cake, our Terpene, our mistress, our black cherry gelato, we're doing some crossing, and some pheno honey with them.
This life hack right here.
Yeah, that's a life hack.
It's one of my absolute favorites. Life hack is one that, like, I believe is award worthy as well. It's definitely a great first impression, and it's like one of those that I think is an absolute ooh and wow on anybody that has the opportunity to try it. So as soon as the life hack drops, make sure you try that.
What's the profile for this one?
It's got the candy notes.
Okay.
I believe this is Wedding Crasher crossed with jet fuel gelato.
Yep. Hey, you know them better than I do. Yeah. I gotta look at my list.
between the light pack and the black cherry gelato, I believe that those are some of our top. Those are some of the most like predominant, best impression, and help build and grow the Endo name.
Absolutely.
I've never smoked anything like the life hack that we got. So I think it's that unique, that different, that it makes Endo stand out.
We'll be harvesting that in about 30 days.
Okay.
Here's our black cherry gelato right here. This will be going in heavy next run too. You've seen a little small run of it.
Yeah, this is fire.
Yeah.
This is fire. How many people work at the facility?
So, just on the cultivation side, we have 8 of us between the two facilities. Then we got 5 people in the packing department. Yep. So we try to run pretty lean.
So, like from your perspective, how hands-on are you with the plants and like the day-to-day operation?
I'm very hands-on. I'm here every day. Yeah. I mainly track the health of the plants, workflows, production. But yeah, I just love the plant. I love being in the garden, man. I mean,
absolutely.
It's just a big passion of mine. I love this hunt too.
Yeah.
Finding new flavors, keeping it exciting.
Yeah.
Which I think is very important as well.
Yeah, you guys have a unique strand selection. Like you guys have strands that I don't see at most places. Like they're very like rare and kind of niche to the brand. Like.
That's what we try to do too. We try to, like I said, try to keep it exciting and always trying to drop new flavors. We're being a little more selective now. We were dropping a lot last year. I'm just becoming a little more picky. You know what I mean? So
absolutely.
This is actually this is different too, man. I don't even know how to explain it. This plant's called Boo. My guy from Maine sent me this one too. He gives me about 8 different strands. We're just now getting to the point where we've tested most of them and we're putting them in production. This thing is strictly nose and flavor. He doesn't care less about THC, which I like. So I was a little cautious, so I went through and tested them all to see what they do test. But I mean, this one's super unique. Super unique. I actually got one plant of it hanging that we R&D'd it one more time in the grinder.
What's the cost for this one?
So revert back to the phone because these are all new. This one is Alien Apple Kush times Platinum Lemon Cherry Gelato.
See, that's what I'm saying. Like, you don't see too many of those type of crosses.
No. A lot of this stuff is very so I'm excited about the breeding project we have going with them. Bringing some of our genetics together with his and seeing what we can.
And then, like the alien wave kind of came and went. Like that was like almost like 15 years ago or maybe 10 years ago. You don't really see a lot of like alien OG or alien strands anymore.
Yeah. So I'm excited about it. just actually put it in a small production run. We got it in the clone room right now, about to get it in production.
Okay.
Sure thing. It's got that Sherb Cream High Time Super Boot.
Okay.
So she's a staple too.
Yeah.
That's really high. It's got good flavor, great bag appeal.
You know who talks great about the Sherb Tank? Big Jim.
Let's hear it. What do you think of the Sherb Tank?
Oh, it's awesome. Sherb Cream Pie across the Super Boot, so it has, citrus, great nose on it. Our packaging is even better. I think our packaging actually sets us apart from everyone else. When people see it, people think it salidates to them and think we have gummies. So our packaging, our motto, strong, clean, and tasty. So strong flower, clean, natural trim, and then tasty to your eyes, to your nose, and to your mouth. And the Sherb Tank ticks all about it.
That's fire.
I'm not loving it to grow or too much. It's gonna super big. I could actually show it to you down the street. Some late flower right now.
Okay.
We're actually about to cut it, but
Okay.
It's fun to grow. We'll walk through here and we'll see what else we got. That's that steady puff right there. So what we do is after we cut the strands, we'll leave like 6 strands back for grandmothers. And what the grandmothers are for is to cut clones for the next production mother set that will clone for the production. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. I've never seen that before. Or people explain that part of it, like the grandmothers. Like they use this like a mother room, but like talk about like the difference between that, like having like a traditional mother room, but also preserving them and having like a grandmother room.
Like right now, what we're doing is, we basically started planting more mothers to take clones from them quicker instead of growing mounds so big and so long. So when we plant mothers, we'll plant maybe 35 plants of that plant to produce our cuts for the production. Right. So we'll be taking just like 10 to 15 cuts off of that mound. And then after that, we'll recycle it out. Right. But we'll leave these back to save the genetic in the room. And then these plants is what we'll cut mothers for next row.
Gotcha.
Right? So we'll take these 6 plants, we'll cut like 60 moms to plant like 40 moms, and then 40 moms will be the moms that we use for our production.
Gotcha.
If that makes sense.
That makes perfect sense. It's just like a...
And what we found is we used to grow mothers that were like super big.
Yeah, because that's what you usually see at most facilities. But
we just, actually a friend of mine, Adam, shout out to him, he gave me a good suggestion on, converting this to smaller moms because, and it makes sense. It's just easier, right?
Yeah.
They're easier to take care of. It's less labor. It's less, less problems can occur.
Right.
It's easier for your, IPM program to keep pests to a minimal or none, right? It's easier to keep a healthy root zone. There's just so many benefits.
Yeah.
I'm liking what I'm seeing thus far.
No, yeah, because it's not a common practice.
Like these moms even got, a little bigger than I would like. You know what I mean? They look about right compared to what you're used to seeing.
Yeah.
Right. So these are getting cloned next week. So that flower room you were in, that was later in flower, these are the production mounts for that room.
Okay.
Here's actually, this is going to be a seed run.
Okay.
Right, so what we'll do is we'll grow these big enough to take cuts out of them. When we cut these mounds to go into the production room, we'll cut all these as well, and we'll put these in testing. So we'll take 2 lights of the production room, and we'll test them, and we'll do a little feedback. This is the Bayberry Delight, so I think it's blueberry sugar times Latuya Bay. That's our Latuya Bay right there.
Oh, okay.
How would you explain that? Pretty much gas? That Latuya Bay? Yeah.
It's got hints of the candy because it's got the lemon cherry gelato cross to it, but it's more of just like this kind of clean. Jim likes to describe it as like an ocean breeze. When you do smell it, it just smells very fresh, very clean. It does take, I think, breaking it down, rolling it up to kind of release a little bit more of those candy notes from the lineage of the lemon cherry gelato, but it is sticky as can be. I remember the first bag that I actually grabbed and tried to pull a nug out of, it pulled the entire 8 out of the bag because it was all stuck together.
Right.
It's very resiny, very trichome filled. It looks gorgeous.
Yeah, it's a great strain. that'll go on the production next time. So yeah, that'd be a pheno hunt right here. So every rip we're looking for, we just pop a bunch more seeds. So, we're just constantly popping seeds looking for new gear.
Do you guys have a room separate for cloning, or do you?
Yeah, I'll show you that.
Okay.
It's pretty empty right now. It'll be filled up next week.
For sure.
Here's our filter. This just went in over at Logan. This will be going into the next production run.
What's the name of this one?
So this is Gummy Bears times GMO. It's Froger. So this was the one that hit that 40%.
I love GMO.
Talking about. Yeah.
I love GMO.
I mean, it's super fired. I mean, the plant's a little finicky, but
yeah.
It was actually bred for rosin, from what I hear. I had the breeder contact me after that article came out with, so he said it was actually bred for Washington.
Got you.
Super high THC. I mean, even before we hit them numbers, this would always run 35 to 38%.
Okay. So I got a question. So how tedious are you in these processes? Some of them grow a little taller, some of them grow a little shorter. Are you strict on your process to where even if it grows this tall, you kind of looking like, why is this one growing taller than this one? And you maybe want it to be the same size or different sizes?
Yeah, so these ones were actually just cut from, for a production run at Logan Street, and they rebed. So these are why these look a little crazy as far as canopy height. But yeah, I mean, you try to keep as level canopy as possible for even the light distribution, right? So, you can only bring this LED down to the level of the top is colder, right? So the idea, especially in the production rooms, is to keep a nice even canopy so you can have even light distribution. You know what I mean? You can really I like setting these LEDs down pretty close to the canopy and flower. That way you get that good light penetration to try to minimize your smalls and minimize lower immature buds.
Absolutely.
Eventually we'd like to implement the Under-Canopy here. We just haven't yet.
Yeah.
I know that's a big thing right now.
I've always seen, I've been to various grows, and I want your perspective on it. What's your opinion on the upward tick of underlights with flower? Like, is that something that you would want to do, or what do you feel about that process?
I mean, I've R&D'd them. I got one bay at our other other facility. That's 2-tier. That room's 2-tiered. I've been R&D'ing them. From what I've been seeing the buds are getting a little bigger underneath. But the main thing I've been seeing is maturity of the flower. Right. The unders get more mature. They'll be as mature as the tops. Right.
Gotcha.
So a lot of people use the expression as a camouflage bag, right? Where you got light green and purple mixed and all that.
Yeah.
I've seen it minimizing that. You know what I'm saying? So, then, just a little denser, a little bigger girth, so I think the value's there, you know what I mean? But it's a process behind it too, right? With bringing all them lights in, you got to increase your HVAC. Your plants are going to heat more, they're going to transpire more, so you got to bring in more dehumidification. So there's a lot to it more than just adding the light. So
absolutely.
It's something we're going to look at here, probably beginning of next year, late this year, but we just haven't got there yet. I want to get these other 2 rooms on here before I circle back and do that other thing.
No, I understand.
Yeah, this is pretty much.
Oh, shit.
That's the harvest room, the drying room. It takes a big space to hang all these blooms. So this was the first room you guys went into. This is the harvest room, that room.
So, I've worked in cultivation, but we get a lot of people who just are consumers. So how important is this part of the process?
I would say this is one of the most important. And I feel this is where a lot of people get it wrong, because a lot of people grow great flower, then at the end you can just ruin it no matter how big you grow it, right? So, we take our time on drying. The plant's hanging for at least 14 days, so we hang it pretty close to 60 and 60 for them 14 days. Yeah. And then, we start debucking it, start hand trimming it, and after, in between that time, it's curing. So by the time it goes to lab, it's usually 4 or 5 weeks. So we get 2 to 3 weeks cure time on top of the 2 weeks drying time. That goes to the lab. So it's about 6 weeks before it hits the stores.
That's almost like a perfect process because you're not taking too long, but you're not rushing it either.
Try not to rush it to market. Right? Yeah. So, I would say this is one of the most important parts, right? dry too quick, you lock in that chlorophyll, have a harsh smoke, not, won't have the same flavor.
Yeah. And then how many plants are in here?
So this room has 1,680. Yeah. So that's one thing about these big rooms, it's a lot of everything. Right?
Yeah, you got enough space to.
Yeah. Eventually we might create another drying space within the facility and turn this into a production room because it's a little bigger. I mean, it's comfortable, but it's a little bigger than you probably want to use. But it's nice having the space though.
So like, what's an additional step that in this process that may be overlooked? Like, yeah, obviously people overlook this process as far as curing and like drying and stuff like that, but what's an additional step that like sets this process apart?
I mean, I would say just the dry and cure for the most part. You know what I mean? And obviously making sure everything's burnt properly every day. You release some off gases, make sure the bud cures properly. And just not rushing it to market. I think, and it's hard right now, right? Because as these guys know, a lot of the stores are looking at harvest dates now, so it's kind of finding that happy medium to where you don't rush it too fast, but you're not too slow. You know what I'm saying?
But a casual viewer, because like I said, a lot of people watch are like, you got people who are hardcore, they know the different processes, but like, how do you actually cure cannabis?
So basically, curing is just, a slow part of the drying process. It's just slowing down that drying process and releasing all the off gases of the plant. So what we do after after they hang for 14 days, we'll buff them down. We'll start trimming them. We'll leave them in a tote. We'll burp that tote twice a day for 14 days, and then it'll go to once a week after that. And it just allows for that nice slow dry.
Gotcha.
You know what I mean? Which will create, a smoother smoke, more flavorful smoke.
Do a great job at keeping this room clean. Sanitized.
And you know what? He hit it on the money. That's maybe one thing people overlook as well. Just the cleanliness of the facility. We spend a lot of time cleaning. Obviously we're in the middle of harvesting, so it's looks a little messy.
But in between harvests, like with that moisture, you're bringing wet plants in here. Like the overall cleanliness and environment while they're drying, while they're curing, is just as impactful and instrumental in that end result product. So that's something that we're extremely mindful of, that we don't take very lightly around here. We don't rush that process because we know that it's an impression and a reflection of our brand, our standards, and our quality of what we bring to the market.
Absolutely.
It's a consumable product, so you always got to take that consideration, right? Cleanliness and keep it the right stable climate, make sure there's no microbials or mold. Keep everything very clean.
Gotcha.
I feel like to have top shelf cannabis, you really need to be hand trimming your product.
Absolutely.
I think it's just, that trimmer beats the bud up so much, and it's just.
We want our flowers to have formation, we want them to have structure, knuckles, calyxes. If things look like rock stones and pebbles, it's not our forte.
This is actually that blue plant I was showing you. This is a new one here. Just one test plant. We ran it one more time.
I like the structure of it.
This is the boot, actually.
Is it?
Yeah.
Oh, I see it's
there you go.
Boot.
Got some nice size buds on there.
Yeah, but I'm excited about this one. We'll see how she blows.
I like the orange hairs that I see on it.
Yeah, and it got like a yellow kind of undertone to it. You see the crystals.
You don't really see the orange hairs these days.
It's a rare anomaly.
Green weed's coming back, baby. Green weed's coming back. I mean, flavor-wise, right? A lot of your candies. You say what's up to the camera? Introduce yourself or what?
Okay. What does he do?
He's a CEO.
Oh, okay.
His business side, great hard workers,
Absolutely. Yeah. Gotcha. Do you guys process here too?
So we got a processing license. We haven't really got into processing a whole lot of material. We've kind of had some select partners for that.
Okay.
So we got it for distribution a while ago, and pulled stuff for the store. Like
Yeah.
you went to our Adrian store, like the back end space is really.
I'm gonna go up there.
There you go.
The one that I have come across is you guys have a store in Ypsilanti, right?
So we just opened the one. It's been open for a little bit. We're still in the process of renovating the big side.
Yeah.
So, so we got the one in Ipsy, we got one in Houghton Lake, Obviously the one with Adrian, and he just made a deal to put on Mount Pleasant. So the old Pencana.
The who?
The old Pencana store.
Sound familiar?
Yeah, so we just took that over, and hopefully that'll be over the next 60 days or so.
Absolutely. So
this is the clone room, right? And also what we do is we'll plant our baby plants in here, and so basically this is a holding room for our genetics as well. Like a lot of plants that we don't have in production, we'll grow in here and just recycle them out real quick just to keep the genetics.
right.
Yeah.
So this is the part of it where I wanted to go a little bit more in depth with you.
Yeah, 100%.
I want you to explain the entire process. Like I don't know what it is.
Yeah. So you guys have seen the mound, right?
Yep.
So that's where everything starts, right? We grow healthy mounds. We grow the mounds out big enough. So what we'll do is, when it's time to clone, basically we look for mainly the top branches. We'll take the tops off. We'll cut them about 12 inches.
Okay.
We'll take up, about 3 or 4 of them side nodes. We like to leave there's like 2 or 3 nodes at the top, set of leaves, right? We'll cut them, put them in a cup of water, and then after everything's cut, we'll bring them down. We'll soak them in brewers or pH.
So this is more so like an incubator.
Was that? Yeah. So basically, these domes are, basically to hold high humidity.
Okay.
Long story short, that's basically the purpose of them. Because your clone, like 75, 78 degrees, but right when you cut them, you want it like 90% humidity.
Yeah.
If I had this whole room at 98%, maybe 90% humidity, we'd be growing whole everything else. Right?
Yeah.
So we do keep this room really humid, though. So the process is you first cut the branches, you trim the plants up, we'll soak these in pH EC solution.
Okay.
We do a 2 EC, about a 5-8 pH on the cubes.
So could you elaborate on that process of it? Like far as like what you just stated?
So EC stands for electroconductivity,
Okay.
which is basically the amount of nutrients in your water.
Got you.
Right. And also, cannabis will only uptakes the nutrients the best at certain pHs.
Okay.
Right. So like even our production rooms, we run, 5.9 to 6.1 pH in our drippers for the program. This is basically allows all the nutrients to be available for the plant to uptake.
Absolutely.
So, so the process with this is, you bring all the clones down, soak the cubes, making sure they're hydrated properly. We cut our clones about 6 inches.
Okay.
Cut them at a 45-degree angle with like a clean utensil like a razor blade. And then we dip them in a hormone solution, basically a rooting gel, hormones that allow the plants to start rooting. Dip them in the cube, put them in these clone trays, put them underneath some 150 ppfd to 200 ppfd light, and then they just sit here. We make sure they stay hydrated. Usually we don't have to water them at all for like the first 6 days. They don't have no roots anyway, right?
Okay.
So they're not feeding much. As
Right.
long as your climate's stable in the dome, you shouldn't have to water them for the first week.
Gotcha.
And as they start rooting into the rapid rooters, you have to start watering and hydrating usually daily. Then from the time we plug them until the time we're planting, it's usually about 14 days.
So this process is 14 days.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
And then we start hydrating pots in the production rooms, plant them, and then, from there we're about, 11 to 12 week cycle.
So I guess a common mistake would be in this process would be temperature.
Temperature and humidity.
Yeah.
I would say temperature and humidity. Another mistake I see is people oversaturate the cubes.
Okay.
Which will allow, basically to be like your plum stick in water. Eventually it's going to rot, right? So
Yeah.
you want your cubes moist, but you don't want to stop it wet.
Right. And then how many plants are in each dome?
50.
Wow.
So this is the production run for our other facility.
Okay.
So we, house all our mothers here, take all our clones here, then we'll manifest them over to the other facility.
Gotcha.
So this is for our upcoming room 4 over there. So this is all the sherp tank that you see in there, that super booth times sherp creek pie. And this is that booth I was showing you.
Yeah.
This is like the first small production run of that.
That's fire.
Trying to put a little feeler out there.
And then these are the same adjacent plants on the other side?
So these are, no, they're not the same. So this is our gelato cake over here.
Okay.
So these plants are just holding and recycling, basically just to hold the genetics so they go into production.
Okay.
So like at, about this size, maybe a little bit bigger, We'll take some cuts off them, trim the plant down, and just wait for them cuts to root. Once them cuts to root, we'll plant them and we'll cut this plant down.
Okay.
Basically, this is just a room to hold genetics. You know,
So,
clones.
yeah. So is it a certain size or that you want the plant to get to in this stage?
Yeah, I mean, just, you know, big enough so we can take some good solid clones off of it.
Gotcha.
These are all seeds we just popped right here, but you can see that we're just constantly hunting.
Yeah.
Seeds, you know what I mean? So,
Absolutely. What's the LT?
Lucy 2C. So that's actually our boo, this boo right here, crossed with our life hack.
Oh, okay.
So this is our first collab run we did. So this is actually our, you know, in-house genetics that we grow.
Gotcha.
So this is actually our first hunt with them. This is that boo times blueberry sugar. This is caramel coated, which, you know, sometimes Luke gets carried away. I'm not even sure what that one is. This is cinnamon rolls. Yeah, I wish you was in here. You can tell you what it is. This is a lemon haze. This is actually sativa dominant, so I feel like we need to get a few sativas in
I love the lemon haze.
Yeah, well, old school flavor for you right there. This
Man.
is ethos genetics. But, yeah, so this always trying to, you know, find new flavors. You know,
Absolutely.
keep things interesting. Here, you know, keep all the bags.
Okay.
You know, this is where everybody packs. You know, we do a lot of pre-packed flour. So this is where they pack, and there's your little cured resin boxes right there.
Okay.
We got a few single source. We've only dropped, I think we got the gelato cake, black cherry gelato, Death by Boo, and the banana conda. Yeah. So turned out super fire. We got through this all our bags, and this is where they pack at. So. And then here's the irrigation fertigation room.
Okay. All right. So this is another one that I wanted to talk in depth about.
Very, very important room here too, right? So this
Yep.
is basically what feeds the whole facility.
Absolutely. So what system do you use as far as
So this is the RO system right here from American Revolution. So basically, fresh water comes in. This filters and strips everything out, so you're at zero. No ppm, nothing in your water.
Okay.
Here's the fresh tank storage, right? So this is just all plain water. Here's the actual pumps that go to the rooms.
Okay.
So how it works is it runs off what's called open sprinkler, which is basically an app-based controller that goes in my phone.
Okay.
And I can preset, you know, when I want the plant to feed, how long I want it to feed, how many times a day I want it to feed. So, and then, you know, so when I have all that set, what happens is each cable's got a solenoid on it that's electronically wired to that controller. So that'll open, these pumps will activate off pressure, then it'll push water through these dosatrons, which what these dosatrons are doing is they're you know, injecting nutrients into the line. And so, you know, basically this is all the food for the plant here.
So why choose, I guess, this particular system? Why did it make it unique to this facility?
Simplistic. I would say it's simple. You know what I mean? I try to keep things as simple as possible here in the cultivation.
High efficient, simple to use.
Yeah. Very easy to use, very easy to reteach, reliable. You know what I mean? So a lot of people use more sophisticated fertigation, but I've always found this very effective and simple. You know what I mean?
Gotcha.
Try to keep things simple as possible at scale. Yeah, so this is room 4. So each one of these line sets go to a different room. That way, you know, you can control them differently based on, you know, the schedule of the plant cycle and what the plant wants, right? So, so that's room 2. That's the room about to get harvested here in about a week and a half, and that's the non-room right there.
Okay. What type of nutrients do you use?
We use the pheno.
Okay.
Yeah. We tweaked it a little bit, but.
Would you say like Athena is more so like a industry standard, or is it unique to this facility?
It's industry standard, I think. You know, we've RD'd other. We used to use Jax. You know, we've RD'd a few other, you know, nutrient lines. But there you go again. Their customer service is great. They do a lot of, you know, education. They're very helpful, and you know, I just found that their nutrient line very effective. You know, I don't have no complaints with them. You know, I've heard people say certain things about the nutrient line.
Yeah.
I think that's fluff, to be honest with you. I think that's bro science. I mean, our weed's pretty loud and smells great, you know, and a lot of people say, you know, I've heard comments, you know,
Yeah.
people say, but I think that Athena's, so many people use it,
Right.
I think that what you see on some of that is there's good growers and there's not so good growers, right? So,
Attention to detail.
exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. So I've been growing a long time, growing a lot of different methods, right? You know, I've been an organic guy for years too. And,
Okay.
you know, I mean, I think it's a great research line, to be honest with you.
Absolutely.
So, consistent. There's a lot of consistency there.
Sure.
So that's about it. Right? Up there is just our shipping and receiving and what we've got.
Okay.
Got a hash patch couple of
Okay. We gotta get it on camera.
We're more welcome. We can roll down with other facilities if you want. If not,
Yeah, for sure.